Hi, I'm Janine from the Sewing Revival, and this is a quick video tutorial on why, when and how you should use a full bust adjustment. Now, the Sewing Revival patterns are designed for a C cup. Now, most of our designs have plenty of ease around the bust area, so that accommodates most bust sizes, which is why we've made those designs particularly for beginners. So you don't need to worry too much about cup size. As long as you choose the pattern that's closest to your chest size, that should work out just fine for you. But there are a few designs, like the shirt I'm wearing. This is the classic shirt, which is a bit more fitted. It is designed to be tailored. And so while I'm wearing version style B, which has the pleat at the back, style A of this shirt, which I'll put on later, has darts, so it is designed to be fitted. And a traditional tailored shirt. Now, the first recommendation is that you always make up a sample, and making up a sample in inexpensive fabric like a sheet, which this happens to be in a prior life, is the best way to find out the fit for yourself. You can spend all the time you like agonising over the finished measurement chart, but if you take the size closest to your body shape, make up a test, and then work out where it fits and where it doesn't. That is the best starting point in my personal opinion. With a more fitted style, as your bust gets bigger, generally your shoulders don't. And so if you are picking the size of, for example, the classic shirt that fits your bust, you might find that when you make up your sample that the shoulders are too big. So that is a perfect example where a full bust adjustment in FBA will help and get a shirt that actually fits your body. So the recommendation would be to go down a size so it fits you in the shoulders, and to make an FBA, which is actually, it sounds scarier than it is. It's a very simple process, and the rest of this video is going to show you how to do that. Okay, so a full bust adjustment is much easier than it sounds, and it is simply adding some space in the middle of the pattern around the bust area to accommodate larger bust sizes, and keeping the shoulder the same length. So the first thing we want to do is square down from the bust. We want to make a line down, straight down to the hem. Now the grid lines on the pattern pieces, if you've done a print at home pattern, are actually are great to line up with. Otherwise you can just use a set square. So we want to draw a line from the bust. We want to draw a line from the bust to the hem, from the bust through the centre of the dart, and from the bust to the notch through the armhole opening here. So from the bust down to the hem, from the bust point through the middle of the dart, and from the bust to the notch. Now when we cut, we're going to swing the pattern pieces open, so we want to leave a wee edge to act as a hinge. So first of all, you cut the pattern up here, and then we're going to cut through, and we're actually going to stop a centimetre in from the edge, because that's where the seam allowance would stop at that point. And now we're going to cut from the dart and leave the tiniest bit paper intact to act as a hinge. Now, if you're doing a full bust adjustment from, let's say, a C cut to a D cut, you will need to increase the size of the pattern. And look at that, it's magic, it slides out. You might just use the finger to ensure that seam allowance works there. But we would, from a C to a D and a D to an E, it's 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimetres, which on the half of the front is 1.25 centimetres. So all you need to remember is for each cup size you need to go out 1.25 centimetres. Now if you have an E cup, you can actually go out, so 1.25 times 2 equals 2.5. But you notice that what does happen is that you're swinging the armhole quite open, but that is very achievable. And again, once we've completed this full bust adjustment, you'll make up a sample and see how that looks. But for this example, we're just going to go out one bust size, so we're going to measure out 1.25. Now, rather than sticking this to the table, the sensible thing is to get a piece of paper, slide it underneath. Now, you can slide just a thin, you could slide just a thin strip under here, but if you use a large bit of paper, you can then use that as your pattern afterwards. So, we'll measure here. We'll take this down and then measure 1.25 at that point. We'll start at the bust and measure 1.25 out. And just tape it here. We'll come down to the funnel end, 1.25. So by doing that, it was a simple cut and swing. And we've moved the bust point out and downwards. We've increased the size of the dart. So the original dart lines were from the notch. The original dart lines went from the notch to the bust. So the new bust point is now here. And you'll see that you've made a bigger bust dart. You can see that we've increased the size, or the half front, by 1.25, which is 1 cup size. And you'll see that the shape of the arm slightly changes, but the size of the armhole hasn't changed. So we can either stick this all down and cut out, leaving that, or we can trace out the whole thing. To make a new pattern piece itself. You just simply extend the lines of the dart leg, remember to mark in the waist notch. Just ease that hem so that it's a nice smooth curve, and use a pen, most importantly, use a pen that works. The original pattern was here, so effectively we've added 1.25 centimetres to the side and increased the size of the bust dart. The dart has actually moved across and down, and so if you draw in your new dart lines or dart legs, now go and sew this up, you'll find that you've got a bigger area for your bust. So that's your FBA completed. Label your pattern piece. So this is the front of the classic shirt. It's a size 12 with an FBA plus 1, which is 1 cup size. And brackets 1.25 centimetres. Okay. Also, don't forget to put in your grain line, which runs perpendicular to this. And that's all there is to it.